Continuing our new Google Sites video tutorials, we are now going to cover Insert Google Drive. So Insert Google Drive is pretty powerful stuff, and it's also very important because your knowledge of Google Drive and how Google Drive sharing is controlled is going to have a huge impact on the content that is available to your audience. Keeping in mind that in new sites currently, as of December 2016, when you publish a site, you have to choose who your audience is, and you only have two choices: the entire world or the entire staff of our school system. There is no stronger level of control over your audience. So if you intend to use the site to present materials to your staff, and you only want particular individuals to have access to those materials, these Insert Google Drive tools are going to be very, very important for you. So let's kind of dive in and take a look at the two different tools, From Drive and Drive Folder, and then we can talk about some of those applications. All right. So we're in the editing mode of our site. I'm going to go up to Insert, and I'm going to go down to Google Drive and choose From Drive. Now when I click on that, I get a search bar that shows me my Google Drive interface. So I can go to the hierarchy of my drive and start sorting through the folders that way. I can go to documents that have been shared with me. I can go to recent activity and check out the most recent things I've done in Google Drive. Or I could go to my starred folder and grab things that are starred. There's also a fully functional search tool here where I could search for particular files and insert those. So for this particular example, I'm going to go to my drive and go to a folder that I've built to sort and manage content. And there is no limit to what can be inserted with the Insert Google Drive tool. I could insert a picture, and if I do so, it's very much the same as using the Insert Images tool or the Insert Upload tool. I've just said, hey, take this picture and put it onto my site. Now, of note, whatever permissions were set on a picture in your drive are stripped away when you insert it onto a Google site. So if this beautiful koala had been private, only me and a select few people could see that picture, if I decide to use Insert From Drive and put it onto my site, my entire audience at the site will be able to see the picture. Now this is definitely the exception to the rule, and I'm going to explain that with the next insert that we do. So we're going to go to Insert From Drive, and here I could insert a movie if I wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and select a movie. I click one time, it turns blue. Down here at the bottom, an insert button appears, and it drops a movie onto the page. This movie is stored in my drive, and this movie will only be viewable by people who have permission to see that movie. So if I went to that folder on my drive and I look, it says that I have shared this with someone. And if I look over, I see that I've shared it with this lady right here. If I wanted to make sure that the whole world could see this video, I would need to go to my settings, my share settings, and make sure that I had made the video public on the web so that everyone in the whole world could see it. If it was a training video and I wanted only staff to be able to see it, I might select only people who work at St. Mary's County Public Schools can view this video. So I can go in and control who has access to it. This is very important because if I'm building a site and I made the site public because I want the community to see it, I want parents to see it, but I hosted all my videos in Drive and then I used the Insert From Drive tool to put the videos in. If I didn't make those videos available to the public will come and they will see my website. They'll see this cute puppy, this fox, this button, this text. They'll see all of that, but then they will not see this video. The video will be hidden from them. Or a box will appear that says, you don't have access to this, or you don't have permission for this. So good and bad. You always have to think when you're grabbing stuff from your Google Drive, do the permissions on my site match the permissions on my drive? Do I want them to match? If I'm creating a site that is for my team, admittedly, my only two options for an audience are to make it the entire world or make it our entire countywide staff. Sure, I limit it to our countywide staff, but maybe this video is only supposed to be seen by 8 people. Well, if on the drive I set those permissions for the video, it doesn't matter who's accessing the site, they still won't be able to see the video. So you have some control over who's viewing your content by using the sharing settings and the sharing permissions that are in Google Drive. So you can start to see right away that news sites and Google Drive are very much intertwined, and your knowledge of one is going to benefit you in the other. All right, one more time, we're going to go to Insert, and we're going to do From Drive. And we'll go ahead and go to my drive. And this time I'm going to put a document in. So I'm just going to grab this PDF document. And I'm going to insert that. And this creates a nice little window that can be resized. It can be moved around. And this gives a preview window where the user can read and kind of scroll through a PDF document. This same interface will be available if you choose a Word document that's hosted on your Google Drive, or if you choose a Google Docs file that is on your Google Drive. To sort of see these things in action, I can always preview at any time. And I can scroll down and see, hey, this is what the user is going to see. They're going to see, oh, okay, I think that is the PDF I'm looking for. So they can click this pop-out button, and they're taken to the document where they can read it, they can print it, they can download it. If they have their own Drive account and the permissions are set that way, they can add it to their own Drive, they could star it, they could share it with other people. So we've got this website that's just fully integrated with the Google Drive experience. And that's kind of the point of new sites, is to really integrate with all the other things that Google is doing. Down here we have the video. I can start playing it right here on the site.
In this video,
if I want it to be bigger, I can watch it in full screen. And then when I'm done watching, I can just exit out and continue going through the site. And again, anything that you're storing on your Google Drive, you could embed into the site using this Insert from Drive button. Now, the second thing in the Insert Google Drive is the Drive folder. I'm going to go ahead and hit that button. And I'm going to select the entire folder right here. I'm just going to click it one time. If I double-clicked it, I would have entered the folder. And that's not what I wanted. I wanted to just select the folder. So I click one time, it turns blue. Blue bar appears down here at the bottom. I'm going to select Insert. And now it creates a window from my Google site to that Google Drive. This is tremendous. So users who have been reliant upon file cabinets, for example, on their classic Google sites, you can get that same level of functionality by simply rebuilding your file cabinet as a Google Drive folder. When you select the Google Drive folder tile that has been created, you get the resize options. And there is a settings gear at the top here. It gives you list view or grid view. Depending on what is going to be in the folder, you could do one or the other. To kind of get an idea of what this is looking like at any time, I can hit preview. And if I scroll down, I see, hey, here's a window to Google Drive. So user comes to my page, they're looking for graphic resources. Here's the folder for graphics. They click it, it takes them to that folder on Google Drive. They now have access to the contents of that folder and can do whatever they need to do. This is tremendous because not only is visibility, access to, and interaction with these folders and resources controlled via Google Drive, once something like this is in place, if I make changes in Google Drive, those changes automatically update and are reflected on the page. So pay close attention to this koala, right? There he is, happy koala. He's in the folder with all the other subfolders. Looks great. If I go to my Google Drive and I go to my New Sites folder and I decide, hey, he's not supposed to be there, I'm going to move him into the graphics folder. Okay, now I'm going to give it a chance to kind of catch up. But if I go back here to the web page and I preview it, and I scroll down to that folder, the koala is gone. Now I didn't edit this, I didn't change this, I didn't have to delete it and then re-add it. Those changes in my Google Drive are automatically reflected over here. And so you really have to think about that as you're building. Like, what can be built in Google Drive that would make my Google site work even better and even smarter? Something else you could do with a Drive folder is sort of create a gallery of images. So I'm going to do Insert and do Drive Folder. And I'm going to navigate to this folder I called Photo Gallery, and I'm going to insert it. Now by default, it's a nice organized list. I'm going to select the gear, and I'm going to change it to a grid view. And here we have all these cool thumbnails of pictures. So when a user comes to the site and they scrolling through, I've got this cool photo gallery. And they say, oh man, what a cute picture. So they click on it and they can just go and look at that particular picture. They can print it, they could download it, they could share it, they could add it to their drive. They can copy it and paste it into a presentation that they're giving, whatever they want to do. It's a cool way for me to present a gallery of photos to my audience. So another application of these folders is already in use, and it's actually in use in a classic Google site. So Student Services and Special Ed had to migrate their SharePoint servers over to Google Drive a number of years ago, and a concern at the time was that users would have difficulty navigating Google Drive to find what they were looking for. So Google Sites were created that would mimic the same layout as SharePoint, but in a Google interface. So if I'm a health professional and I'm looking for a health form for Student Services, I go to this site, I click on Health, and I am taken to a window to the Student Services Google Drive that shows me the different health documents. So if I came here looking for health templates, I would click Health Templates and be taken to that area of the drive where all of these health templates are now available to me to add to my drive, to download, to print, to share with the appropriate parties. If I was not a healthcare personnel and I was not supposed to see these forms, if I clicked on the health page, this would be blank because those permissions were set and controlled by Google Drive and respected by Google Sites. If at some point I became a healthcare professional and was added to the group that had access to these folders, I could go to the site and they would be available to me. At no point would anyone have to go in and modify the Student Services site. Once it was built and in place, all of the permissions, all of the heavy lifting would be handled by using Google Drive. If a health template needed to be updated, they would update it in Google Drive, and the users of the site would never know the difference. They would click on Health Templates and the most up-to-date file would already be there. This is tremendously more powerful than using a filing cabinet in classic sites where you would have to track down older forms, manually delete them, and then manually update their replacements. So something that's already in place and something that you'll need to use moving forward is these embedded Google Drive folders. So we've covered the insertion of Google Drive stuff, from Drive, which is individual stuff, and Drive folder, which is the actual folders and hierarchies of your drive. Keep in mind that the more you know about Google Drive, the more powerful these tools are going to be for you. If you require additional training in Google Drive, please contact our office and we will try to set up some PD for you.